Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Today we're going to be talking about some very exciting news in regards to Arrow, but also in regards to Supergirl. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay guys, so we've got a couple of things to break down throughout this video. We have some new photos for the upcoming episode of The Flash that is coming out this week, plus also Stephen Amell has been posting some teasers about him returning as Oliver Queen in The Flash Season 9. So let's go ahead and get into this. So first things first, let's talk about the Arrow crossover in The Flash Season 9. So Stephen has been teasing on his Twitter about his return to The Flash. He has posted a photo of himself watching the episode that he's in. That episode is now officially titled It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To. So we'll break down that title in just a minute because obviously it suggests a lot. But it's very exciting that he's doing this. Obviously, he's doing this to amp up the anticipation for episode 9, which is the episode he's going to be appearing in. But obviously, as we all know, he's not appearing in that alone. He's there with John Diggle, also Kid Flash, and Bloodworkers returning. So it's kind of like an interlude episode, but it's been described as kind of like half-half. It will set up episode 10, which will be like the official first episode of the new graphic novel, where we will see Cobalt Blue for the very first time, plus the return of many fan favorite speedster villains like Savitar, Zoom, Reverse Flash from the past. So yeah, let's break this down. So Stephen is posting this. Obviously this is his copy of it. It's what they call a lock cut, so that means it's pretty much finished. It might not be the final episode because they're probably still working on VFX, maybe some sound mixing, the color and everything like that, but the actual edit is done. So this is presumably what it's going to look like when we see it when it comes out. And so for now, let's break down the title. So the title is It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To. That obviously invokes a lot of thoughts in our heads, right? Because as they do a lot of the times for the episode titles in like various Arrowverse shows, pretty much all of them do this. They get like a famous quote or like a song name or a film name and they will just like flip it. They'll add a different word to give it a different meaning. And so It's My Party and I'll Cry If I Want To is a song by Leslie Gore. Actually, go ahead and listen to the song. It's a really good song. And it's just called It's My Party, but the lyric is It's My Party and I'll Cry If I Want To. And so with this, they're just twisting it, It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To. So I think this is in reference to Oliver Queen specifically because he's dead right now. So that's kind of like a twist on what we know, plus them doing like an inside kind of haha, I love this song. Maybe they listened to it behind the scene and they finally got the chance to use it. But I actually think it's a good title name. It's a exciting title name is what I would say, because it could mean there is going to be many deaths in this episode, like multiple people might die at the hands of Bloodwork, because we know Bloodwork's going to be the main villain of the episode as far as we currently know. Or it's very possible that this could just be a cop-out. It could be them titling the episode with the word die to gain people's attention, because it is a big word to use in a title because it suggests someone's gonna die. And so it very well could be just them putting it there because Oliver's supposed to be dead, and it's going to lead people to kind of question, why is Oliver back? Is something greater going on in this episode? And I think this is just a way to gather intrigue for the episode. And I think that's also why Stephen has been posting about it, because he definitely knows, okay, we need this episode to be big. Like, not in terms of like he's gonna gain anything from it, but in terms of like getting this episode well seen by lots of people. If the stars post about it, if Stephen posts about it, it's gonna get a lot of intrigue. I mean, just looking at his Twitter post, he's got so much intrigue. Like 500,000 people have viewed it on Twitter, and he's gonna bring in that Arrow fan base that maybe haven't watched the Arrowverse shows since Arrow ended. So it's gonna be great. Okay, Stephen posted another tweet and he says, okay, Barry, let's go. Barry, let's go. And that is Oliver Queen saying that in The Flash episode 9 of season 9. So there you go. He's even giving us a quote. So that's a little interaction between Barry and Oliver in the episode, which by itself clearly suggests that they're going to be teaming up, and it's not just going to be Oliver's there as the Spectre, but instead they're going to be teaming up as Arrow and the Flash, but also interact as Barry and Oliver. So that's obviously super exciting for Arrow fans. I'm really looking forward to seeing this episode and seeing how they explain everything. Obviously there is a lot of explanation that they have to do, and I feel that if they don't address Oliver being back in the right way, a lot of people could get very, very upset. So we'll just have to wait and see how they play it, but I'm looking forward to episode 9, which is the big episode with many returning faces. Okay, so just a couple of episodes before that, which is the episode coming up this Wednesday, we have another crossover that's going on, and it's one of the Supergirl stars who is showing up, and that is Nicole Maines, and she's showing up as Dreamer, but also as Nia Nal in the episode, which is airing this Wednesday, March 29th. So obviously as a Supergirl fan myself, I'm very excited for this episode, and I hope you guys are going to stick around for that night. On Wednesday night, I'm going to have my review right out after the episode airs. I'm definitely going to be buzzing to talk about what actually goes on in the episode. So we have some photos that I want to break down, but first off, let's go over the synopsis. So only in our dreams, Nicole Maines guest stars. Iris is visited by Nia Nal as she needs Iris's help. When Iris and Nia fall into a fever dream and explore different possibilities for their lives, Barry, Chester, Allegra and Cecile desperately try to help them. Meanwhile, Mark entertains Keone, but they have different ideas of what fun is, leaving Keone to feel that Mark is trying to make her something she is not. So we don't really need to talk about the Mark and Keone side of this synopsis. I have broke this down on a separate video, so go check that video out. It's up on my channel. Just go on the channel page and you'll be able to find it. But we need to talk about the Nicole Maines of this episode. So Iris is visited by Nia. We know that they are both journalists, and that is probably the reason that Nia is showing up in Central City. At the start of the Flash season 9, there was a reference to Catco, and potentially Catco wanting to take over Iris's business. And we all know that Nia works at Catco. The last time we saw her at the end of Supergirl season 6. So presumably from then, she's still been a reporter. Maybe she's made some climbs in terms of the Catco company. And there is clearly a reason that she needs Iris's specific help, and maybe it's something in Central City that she is investigating and she needs like the local best reporter to help out. Plus I'm sure she's heard from Kara and Alex and everyone about Team Flash and the fact that Iris is linked to them. But then Iris and Nia are falling into this kind of fever dream. We saw this in the trailer for this episode after the last episode aired, and we know they're in this whole different world. Iris is even a cop at one point. She's Captain West Allen, and so there is various other realities. I presume some of them, maybe they're going to die, they're going to be attacked by people, or in some, like Iris being in charge of CCPD, it's just like completely different, and it's not really like this kind of superhero world. So I'm looking forward to seeing these different possibilities for their lives, but the question is, how are they going to get out of it? And that is going to be answered by Barry, Chester, Allegra and Cecile, who are going to be trying to help them from the outside world. This actually reminds me quite a lot of the Flash Supergirl crossover, the musical crossover, because that is pretty much what happened there. Even though it wasn't them falling into like a kind of fever dream, you can presume it's been sparked on by some sort of villain, maybe similar to Music Meister. Imagine if Music Meister returned in this episode, because that's exactly what happened in the musical crossover. Barry and Kara got whammied by the Music Meister and put them into this musical world, and so it sounds very similar, and I like the comparisons. Okay, so the first photo we have to break down is this. We have Iris talking to Nia. It seems it's definitely in Central City Citizen Media, obviously Iris's office, and you can see this also in the next photo from a different angle where we see Nicole Maines' Nia Nal on screen meeting Iris presumably for the first time. She's smiling, she's happy. The office looks pretty empty, so you can presume it's kind of later in the day. It looks a little bit moody, and so she's come here for obviously her own task, but she needs Iris's help. And so I don't know what it's going to take to convince Iris, because I don't know what her problem is in terms of what Nia has come here for, but they're going to figure it out, because they're going to be working together, and they're actually going to be forced to work together because they are stuck inside this fever dream. Okay, the next photo is of Chester and Keone inside Star Labs. They are talking to some other members from Team Flash. I presume it's Barry and Cecile, because both of those were mentioned in the synopsis in terms of trying to help Nia and Iris. Same thing goes for the next photo. I believe that's just them in the speed lab, where I believe they probably just have Iris and Nia on like some sort of like beds as they try and release them from this alternate reality within inside their own minds. I presume the villain who has caused this has somehow tapped into Nia's powers and is basically amplifying her powers, and it's affecting both Iris and Nia. They were presumably at the same place at the same time. That's why the team has been able to get them, bring them back from wherever they were first whammied, and so they're going to have to try and get into her mind. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do it, but we've seen it before. Like, they were able to get Barry and Kara out of the musical world, so I'm sure they're going to be able to get both Nia and Iris out of this world too. Okay, so maybe later in the episode, this is the final photo we have. This is of Barry, of Grant, inside what looks like someone's apartment. Is this maybe Cecile's house? I can't be 100% certain, but there is a glass in the shot. It looks like they're celebrating, and maybe it's them celebrating the fact that both Iris and Nia are now safe, and I guess we're going to get some nice conversations in this episode in regards to Supergirl. I can't wait for all those references, seeing what's up with our Supergirl characters, because we haven't had too much of an update since Supergirl ended. That is just something that in this whole world, in the Arrowverse world, they like to kind of continue the legacies of these characters. So that's why you'll see John Diggle come back. That's why we're going to see Arrow come back, because we want to kind of get an update on what's going on with them. And so in the case of Supergirl, we've had references in the Flash this season in regards to Catco, but that's been pretty much it. So it's exciting to have a Supergirl character returning, and so looking forward to Nicole Maines as Nia Nal once again in this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It really helps out the channel. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. And you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. And so for now, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.